So in my last video, we installed OMV and the Raspberry Pi 4 in 2025, and we saw the good things and the bad things about OMV. Now in today's video, we're going to use a CasaOS, which is another OS that runs on Raspberry Pi that you can make it into a NAS. Now with CasaOS is much friendly, much easy interface and stuff like that, but it has some background. So we're going to see in this video if CasaOS is actually worth it for you, or if OMV is still the original one that you should use. So let's jump into the video. So like in the previous video, we're going to use the Raspberry Pi imager so we can create a new, OS for our Raspberry Pi 4. So here is going to click Raspberry Pi 4 and we're going to go to others and we're going to use the CasaOS Lite version. Lite version means there's no interface on the Raspberry Pi, so everything is going to be command, but it will load 10 times faster than before. Now here, how you can see, I have the SSD, which is this one. So this one is going to be my media, my USB stick. Now we click next, edit, and here we give a name. So this one I'm going to call it again Pi4. You put a password, for me it's just one. Here it's just, if you want to connect to Wi-Fi, I am connected via wireless, but if you put the name, you manually type your name and then the password, your Wi-Fi name and the password, then you will automatically connect to the Wi-Fi in case you don't have a cable. For a NAS and a media server exactly, I will recommend you a cable, but in case you don't have, you can use Wi-Fi. Now going to services and make sure that enables SSH is actually available. In options, there's nothing you can do here. Just click next, yes, and yes. Now I will put the password from my macOS because I'm running macOS. If you're running Windows, you won't have to do anything. And now we're writing. And now we just wait for the OS to be written on the SD card. So once the micro SD card is ready, just put it into a Raspberry Pi 4, turn it on and wait a couple of seconds, maybe a minute or two. Now the difference with Raspberry Pi, with CasaOS, and OMV is that on the CasaOS we only need one command, which is this one. We just copy and paste this command and we have a server already up and running. So it's much easier to install and much easier to understand. Now, again, if you are on Windows, you will need to download this application Putty from putty.org. You just download the application from here and then that'll be it. You can connect to it. If you're on macOS or Linux, you can just use terminal and you will be able to connect. Now, we put the same like last time. What it means, in case you didn't saw that video, well, that means, I'll explain to you right now. So that means we put SSH space Pi4 is the username that I created when I made the micro SD card stick, at the IP address that my Raspberry Pi have. Now, my router is set up to always give the Raspberry Pi 4 the same IP address. If you don't know your IP address, just log into your router and then you'll be able to see all the connections and then you'll find there the Raspberry Pi 4 or whatever Raspberry Pi you have, and you'll be able to see what IP address it has there. So once you put everything, you press enter and you will see this message. I will click yes, I want to authenticate. I will put the password that you put when you made the micro SD card for the Pi 4. And voila. Now I just paste this command here. Now there is a best way to do it. Before we paste this command here, normally it's recommended to update. So I will put sudo apt update. And like this, you will download all the updates, the latest patches, the latest security, everything, and you will be up to date with everything before you install CasaOS. There's a lot of people that they don't do it and they don't show it, but I would rather do it rather than installing and having an unsecure connection. So then the next one is sudo apt upgrade. This might take a little bit. Last time it took about a minute. But yeah, it is essential so you can update and upgrade your system, especially because you're running Linux. But once this one is finished, CasaOS will be up and running in 2 minutes. This is the best thing about CasaOS. It's really fast. So once it was finished, we just copy CasaOS command, we paste it, and now we wait. How we can see, CasaOS is now installed on this IP address, which is the same always for me because I will have this one. So now when I press enter, I get to welcome to CasaOS and I get to create a username and a password. So I'm going to name it Pi4, put a password, whatever you want, create, and that's it. We're up and running right now. We have a server update, that, and everything. So how you can see, CasaOS, the difference between OMV and CasaOS is that OMV, I can't access the storage where OMV is installed. So the 256 gigabytes that I have as a micro SD card, I'm losing that one. I can only access the external hard drive. On CasaOS, you can access them both. CasaOS also have another feature where you can merge storage. So if I click here merge, how you can see is telling me that no, it's not a good idea. That's because this hard drive needs to be formatted. So the best thing is I will format it, put the CasaOS password, click OK, and now we will format the hard drive into a CasaOS file system. Like this, CasaOS will be able to recognize it, and then I'll be able to merge. But yeah, now we just wait for it to format, and once this one is finished, merge storage, and how you can see now I can actually click. So you will get some, warnings here. CasaOS were the best when the selected storage source are all formatted, which is set. This feature is now in testing and verifying. I can tell right now I didn't have any problems with it, and at least one hard drive is needed for this feature, which is the one that I have. So I click submit, and how you can see now it's only one hard drive. So and I go into files here. Now I'm seeing everything as a hard drive. Now CasaOS has good things and bad things about it. Let's start with the good things. When I want to click, well, make a share, for example, right? All I have to do is I can either create a new folder, right? Or let's say I want to share the media file. All I have to do is just right click on it. I click share. And how you can see, I got a PC and a Mac. I copy this Mac SMB file. I go to my Finder. I go to folder, not folder, sorry, connect to server. Put the IP address and the folder that I want to connect. So in my case, this one. I connect as guest. And this is the problem with CasaOS. Now with CasaOS, you can connect as a guest. You don't have to connect with a username and a password. The only problem is every single time when I try to connect with the username and password like a secure one, there's no other way. So maybe I'm wrong, but at the moment, everybody in the house will be able to connect to this share file that you made if they're going on network and stuff. They don't know what they're doing to connect to a network hard drive because there's no username and password. So there's no protection in your own house. This is the problem that I'm seeing with CasaOS. Now, how you can see here in media, I have movies, music and TV shows, which is the same like here, movie, music and TV shows. And this is the best thing about CasaOS because it's easy, but then the security is not the best, so it's crumbling there. Now, we have our share. What can we do? We can go into App Store, and here we have all kind of applications. We're full. So we have Jellyfin, we got Nextcloud, we got all kind of applications that we can use on our server. But let's say I want more apps. If I click here, you'll see here more apps or more. If I click more, it will give me to a website, CasaOS Linux App Store server. So for example, if I copy this one, I go back and I click more apps. I just paste the link. I'll wait a little bit, and now it's running the applications from the other one. So how you can see now I have 451 apps. Now CasaOS App Store Play, whatever this is. So going here, more apps, I add them. And this is what you have to do. You just add the sources, 556, you add the sources, and then you just get access to more apps. So one eternity later, how you can see, we now have 626 apps available in CasaOS to install. All of them are right here. Or you can simply just search for them. So if, for example, if we install search for Jellyfin, right? Now we have Jellyfin for NVIDIA GPUs and everything. I believe this one was the one that we installed previously. So let's try this one. Now Jellyfin from the TCM. And again, this is the problem with CasaOS on a Raspberry Pi. On a mini PC, for example, or on a normal PC, on a x64 processor, it will work with no problems. And an ARM processor, sometimes the applications that are optimized to run on the ARM processor. So So this is the problem. There is another workaround. We can fix that one to make it work. So I'll show you guys in a second. But first you have to try the application because it's the easy way to install if you want to install Jellyfin on it. And if you're looking here in the background, my processor from the Raspberry Pi is 73% already, full just by installing a simple application like Jellyfin. So again, Raspberry Pi 4 is not the fastest one when it comes to CasaOS because it's user friendly, but it does eat a little bit more resources than OMV. Now we can try this one, and how you can see, this one works perfectly. So we're going to click next, and we're going to create again a username and password. So Pi4, we make a password here. Next, and here we add library. So again, we're going to add movies folder, and here we go to media, movies. Okay. Next, from the United Kingdom. Next, and finished. And now we just have to log in with the username and password that we just created. And that's it. We're on, Jellyfin. So we click play. We're in 2025 and there's a lot of videos on how to do a Raspberry Pi survey and stuff like this. And how you can see everything works. Now, when you sign in from mobiles or from TV applications, stuff like that from the Jellyfin, then everything works perfectly. Now, this is the problem that I'm having with CasaOS. You need to find the correct application that works for it. For example, we have Home Assistant. And you can install Home Assistant and control your entire house and everything. So you have a lot of applications. The problem is not all of them they will work on the Raspberry Pi 4 because of the ARM processor, but most of them they will work. You have image, you have everything that you need for it. You can install a torrent for your Linux images and stuff like this. Nextcloud, you have a lot of applications here, and it makes your life 10 times easier using CasaOS because it's simpler rather than just installing OMV and set up everything by command prompt and stuff like this. For user who doesn't have a lot of experience using the terminal, especially for Linux and stuff like this, then CasaOS will be perfect for you because everything is right here and a beautiful interface. All you need is here, widgets, all you need to see is here, or the processor and the RAM, but you have the App Store and you have everything with one click to install. But yeah, CasaOS, it's simpler, takes a little bit more resources, but it's simpler than the other one. But let me know what you guys think. Do you prefer OMV or do you prefer CasaOS? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.